Hello, I'm Scott Bogey here with the foreign MMA featherweight champion Timothy Bender ahead of his title defense against Nick Aguirre on January 25th. How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. And how are you feeling ahead of this upcoming title defense?
I'm really good. We're getting close, a little less than a week out now. Feeling really good. I started water loading today. Had my last like harder workout session today. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to kind of gliding through the week and letting the weight fall off and getting in the cage next Saturday.
Exactly. And how do you feel like this fight is going to play out? Do you feel like it's going to be a mix between the ground and the feet? Do you think he'll just stay on the feet? How do you see the fight playing out?
Yeah, I mean, if I had it my way, it would just be on the feet, you know. But I'm sure if he had it his way, it'd be mostly on the ground. I think I kind of expect us to stand and trade a little bit on the feet, and you know, preferably we can skip the grappling aspect. But I'm prepared for wherever the fight's going to take us, and you know, um, I think that he's going to want to stand and trade a little bit more than maybe he had in the past. I think looking at that last fight he had, he did a lot more work on the feet compared to his other fights, and just hearing some of his other interviews, it sounds like maybe that's a bit of the strategy is to kind of wait, use some of his striking, and then kind of get the takedown going towards maybe the end of the round. But we'll see what happens. I'm prepared for whatever. If he wants to come out right when the bell rings and shoot the takedown, I'm going to defend and hopefully potentially time a strike. So.
And do you feel like that's been what your main focus has been for this camp, as well as overall working on everything, is protecting from the takedowns?
Yeah, definitely. For my style, a lot of what I do is defending the takedown. If I grapple, it's kind of like anti-grappling,
Yeah.
anti-wrestling, getting back to the feet, that kind of stuff. So yeah, a lot of it this time was, studying his footage, kind of seeing what kind of takedowns and entries he likes to use, and then really trying to mimic that in the training room and just get that timing down.
And then, or like you're saying, you wanted to keep this standing if it had it your way. In the past, you have had some boxing fights as well as MMA. Was that just to kind of keep yourself active? Were you just trying to look into the both sports? What was around that?
Yeah, a lot of that was just staying active. But yeah, originally I actually was an amateur boxer before I went into MMA. So about a year and a half of amateur boxing, and then COVID came, and so from there I went into Muay Thai for maybe about in kickboxing Muay Thai for about like 6 months, and then eventually went into MMA from there. So I kind of always had the goal to make my pro boxing debut, and when the opportunity came, I took it, and I won the first one. I lost the second one. The second one, we had some stuff going on in the lead up. I got sick. I kind of had a bad weight cut and was having some stomach issues going into the fight. But yeah, a lot of that was just staying busy, trying to stay active. And, I'm not signed or managed by anyone. So really, I just try to take the opportunities that are available for me.
Exactly. And there has been success shown with some big organizations allowing fighters to do boxing, like PFL, to having Chris Cyborg and Francis Ngannou being able to explore both opportunities. Do you feel like more organizations should allow their fighters to explore the other opportunities if they do come about?
Yeah, I think you see the UFC doing that a little bit with the grappling stuff. They're
Yeah.
kind of letting some of these guys go do some grappling things. And I think the same could be said for boxing. I think, boxing is slightly more dangerous than grappling. You can get a concussion or, a bad cut. So I think that kind of prevents them from wanting to let them off the leash a little bit more. But yeah, I think it'd be cool if the UFC would let them do that. I think particularly now with some of these bigger fighters, the real paydays are kind of in the boxing fights. So I think it's kind of nice if they let them moonlight and take a boxing fight every now and then.
And then in your last fight, it was against Ryan Stock. You were able to get the first round knockout to be able to clinch that featherweight title. How good was it getting that arm raised and getting that belt wrapped around your waist?
Yeah, it was real nice. I had a chance as an amateur to win a belt and came up short, both in Muay Thai and in MMA. So it was kind of nice to swing back around and get the belt. That was also a goal of mine. So that was very good. And yeah, stock was kind of similar type to Aguirre. He was, grappler type, wants to take you down and work his jiu-jitsu. So similar game plan. Main difference is that stock was a south or an orthodox and Aguirre's a southpaw. But yeah, it felt really good to get my hand raised and have all the support. We had a few guys on the card with me as well, some amateurs, and they both got first round finishes too. So was a perfect night for us.
And how is it, like you're saying, you had a couple of amateurs on the card who got victories as well. How good was it coming into the gym the next day, having that winning mentality?
It was really good, man. We put in a hard camp together. Uh, so it's always nice to go out there and reap victory together as well. If just one of the guys comes back with a victory, it's not quite as good a
Yeah.
feeling. But yeah, really good going back in the gym. Everybody won, and it also really kind of like motivates the other guys that had fights coming up after that. And so yeah, it's been a good streak. I think we had one guy got injured in a fight, but other than that, we've had a lot of wins lately.
And am I correct in saying that you train out of, is it work boxing?
Yep.
And how has that been for your overall development?
It's been good. They do MMA as well.
Yeah.
Originally, it was kind of more of a boxing gym, a pro boxing gym, but and they had a lot of like cross training between other MMA gyms where they'd focus more on the hands and the boxing. But yeah, we've kind of developed more over the past few years into really more of like an MMA gym. We have like a whole zebra matted area with the cage walls and things like that now. So it's a pretty nice setup. And yeah, we still have a lot of guys that come cross train. So like the Academy in Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center, whatever it is. They have some pro guys out of there, some good guys, pro and amateur, like John Castaneda, Quang Lei, some of those guys. So they come over a lot to work with us, and we also go over there a lot to work with them, which is really cool. Delico James, the head coach at work, who's kind of like the lead boxing and striking coach. He really opened that door to allow us to work at the academy with those guys, just from him working with them one on one. So that's been a big benefit. And yeah, the academy, they have a lot of good guys there. Greg Nelson's the coach. Rose Namajunas would train up there for her camps and things like that. So yeah, it's been great for my development. My first gym was more kind of like fitnessy, cardio kind of. So I was really the only one competing there in amateur boxing originally, and then when COVID happened, I ended up moving to start kickboxing and Muay Thai, and then eventually MMA. But yeah, that was one of the best things that happened to me for sure was finding work gym.
And how do you find the cross training? Because speaking to some guys, they love it. It's more experience against other people that they might not have got. However, some people they kind of like they don't like it so much because with the regional scene, you have a potential of fighting these guys, so you don't want to show them your tricks. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, that's always a concern. There are definitely some gyms where we've kind of felt that. There was a period of time before I joined work that I was actually just like going around to a bunch of gyms and sparring guys and so I went to like American Top Team and Savage and Minnesota Top Team and Valhalla Combat and some of these other gyms and I would just work with them before work gym became my home gym. But I like it a lot. I really like to get the experience and get the different looks. I feel like, you can really get maybe too comfortable sparring the same guys in the gym over and over again. And so being able to go and train with some of these other guys and kind of like see these other styles, I feel like has really helped evolve my game further.
And then obviously last year you did have four fights, winning three of them, unfortunately losing one. What do you feel like the plan is for 2025 if you are able to stay healthy?
Yeah, I'd love to stay active. Since I started fighting, if I had it my way, I'd pretty much fight every single month. There's not always events and there's not always opponents, so that didn't necessarily happen all the time. But um, yeah, I would love to fight every month and a half, every 2 months if I can, if I'm healthy. It's one thing about getting a lot of first round finishes is you can just kind of go right on to the next. So that's been really good for me in pro MMA. But yeah, preferably if it went my way, knock out Nick Aguirre in the first round, potentially get signed, maybe stay independent, but probably get signed to one of these management agencies that can get me either into the Contender Series or into the UFC.
I was going to bring that up. Is that you are 4-1, get this victory, you are 5-1. So do you feel like maybe one or two more fights, and then you can start calling your shot for that Contender Series, for that short notice call up to the UFC?
Yeah, I should be 5-1. I had that no contest versus Darius Miller, but it really was a finishing sequence. The ref made the wrong call. If you watch the fight on YouTube, you can see I dominated that fight from pillar to post, from bell to bell, basically. I count that as a victory, whatever you want to count it. Um, the doctor said he could continue. He chose not to continue. The ref decided to rule it a no contest for whatever reason. It should have been a TKO. So yeah, I should be 5-1, but it is what it is. I do believe though that with a finish of Nick Aguirre, that I can go into the Contender Series at minimum and potentially into the UFC. Aguirre has only lost to UFC opponents,
Yeah.
to Argueta by decision and to Talbot by third round submission. I definitely believe if I can finish him faster than Talbot did, that shows that I'm ready. I believe I'm ready. I believe I'm going to finish him in the first round next Saturday. And I believe you'll be seeing me in the UFC soon.
So do you feel like what if you get that victory quicker than Peyton Tablet? Do you what are you just going to sit out until the Contender Series, see if that opportunity comes, or if they do have an opportunity for you for another fight, would you take that on?
Yeah, that would kind of depend maybe on what happens with the management agency thing. Like I said, if I'm independent, I'll probably wait around, maybe see if I can hear if somebody reaches out. But there's a few agencies I've been talking to, so I'll probably sign with one of them under the guarantee basically that they can get me into the Contender Series or into the UFC. That's really the only reason that I would sign with them. So I want that guarantee. I'll sign with you. Let's go make some money. And if that's the case, then yeah, I'll probably wait until the Contender Series or until I get a UFC shot. But if I don't sign, then I look to stay active. I look to defend the belt again. But yeah, if I don't sign with someone, then I will look to stay active, look to defend the belt for throne again. There's a couple other high level opponents that I want from the regional scene, that I think can help me get into the UFC if the Aguirre win isn't enough.
And once you're in the UFC, is there anyone in that current UFC featherweight division that you are looking to want to get that debut against? You feel you do have the advantage over them, and you can get your foot in the door that way.
Yeah, I haven't really looked that far ahead. Really anybody. I'll just be happy to get in there. But I actually kind of want to fight Peyton Talbot. I know that he's more of a 35er. I have fought at 35 in the past. I prefer to stay at 45 just because I don't like to cut as much weight. A lot of these guys are cutting so much weight. For me, I try to avoid it if I can, but I have been to 35 a couple times. I would do it if the money and the opportunity was right. But maybe Peyton Talbot, win this fight. Maybe Peyton Talbot would want to meet me at 45, a real man's weight class. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I would love that fight. I think that'd be an awesome fight. We're strikers. We're both going to stand and trade hands. It'd be extremely exciting as long as it lasts. Hopefully, we both get into flow state, and you would just have an amazing striking battle.
Well, that sounds great, and I know you'll be able to defend that belt come next Saturday. Is there anything you're wanting to add or anyone you're wanting to shout out?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for your time. Thanks for reaching out. I always appreciate, I guess just getting some more shine or getting my name out there. That's always appreciated. But yeah, I want to say thank Brookie's Fish Market, my sponsor. They're in St. Louis Park, Minnesota. If you're around Texatonka area, check out Brookie's Fish Market for all of your fresh fish, sushi grade, any fish related, you know, anything you can think about for fish. They got you covered. Give them a call if you have any orders or anything. I want to thank my wife. I love you so much. Happy birthday. And just all my family, my fans, my friends. We're excited to come out and to support next Saturday. I want to thank Dean for matchmaking. I want to thank Nick Aguirre for taking the fight. And once again, thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much for coming on.